Sandals? Yokai? What's going on in Japan? I'm your host Youssef, and these are 10 ancient cursed items discovered in Japan. Make sure you subscribe and ring that bell to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Anyways, let's swim over. Number 10. Bakezori. The Bakezori is described as a wandering sandal with 2 arms and 2 legs, but only 1 eye. He is said to spook inhabited households during the night, running around and continuously chanting Kararin, Kororin, Kankororin, Maragu Mitsu ni ha ninmai, which means they have 3 eyes and 2 teeth. Most possibly, he's mocking his more noble cousins, the famous Geta. Design model of the Bakezori may have been Zori, traditional sandals made of braided rice straw. The being Bakezori belongs to a special group of yokai called Tsukumogami, the artifact demons. According to Japanese folklore, households are like repair tools, kitchen appliances, and even clothes of any kind which eventually come to life and receive their own consciousness when ignored or neglected for a long time, mostly after 100 years. Bakezori are said to be normally harmless to humans, but they can start to rip or pester them. Their motivation is boredom and frustration, or simply revenge and jealousy. Most Bakezori group up with other animated household stuff or clothes, or they simply leave home and run away. Number 9. Biwa BokuBoku. The Biwa BokuBoku is described as an anthropomorphic being with the head of a traditional biwa. He is also said to wear a precious kimono. The Biwa BokuBoku comes to life at night and sits calmly in a tatami room, singing and plinking while lamenting the neglect of his former owner. Other stories report of Biwa BokuBoku dancing through inhabited households while making much noise. The Biwa BokuBoku was modeled after the biwa, a short-necked wooden lute. Toriyami Sekien reports in his work Hyake Zure Zure Bukuro that the biwa was designed after Chinese instruments such as the bokuma and the genjo. Number 8. Boro Boroton. Boro Boroton is a type of yokai from Japanese folklore that is depicted as a tattered futon or bedroll that has been thrown away or abandoned. The name Boro Boroton is derived from the sound of a tattered futon flapping in the wind. According to legend, Boro Boroton is said to haunt people who have mistreated their futon or bedding, particularly those who have thrown them away without showing proper respect. The Boro Boroton may appear to these individuals as a ghostly apparition, seeking revenge for the mistreatment of its former home. There are many variations of the Boro Boroton legend, and its appearance and behavior may vary depending on the source. However, it is generally considered to be a mischievous or malevolent spirit that should be avoided or appeased with offerings or respectful treatment of one's bedding. Number 7. Chochin-obake. Chochin-obake is a type of yokai from Japanese folklore that is depicted as a haunted paper lantern that comes to life. The term Chochin-obake literally means lantern ghost or lantern monster. According to legend, a Chochin-obake is created when a paper lantern is left unattended for a long period of time and gains a spirit or life of its own. The lantern may then sprout arms, legs, a face, or even wings, and begin to move around on its own, causing mischief or scaring people. Chochin-obake are often depicted with a single eye or a large toothy mouth, and they are known to cackle or make other eerie noises as they move about and may even fly or float through the air. Number 6. Ittan-momen. These are said to wrap around people's necks and cover people's faces and suffocate people, and in other tales it is said that wrapped cloths could spin around and quickly come flying, wrap people around their bodies, and take them away to the skies. There's a story where one man was hurrying to his home at night when a white cloth came and wrapped around his neck, and when he cut it with his wakizashi, a short sword, the cloth disappeared, and remaining on his hand was some blood. In regions where they are said to appear and disappear, there seemed to be a custom where children were warned that if they play too late, that Ittan-momen would come. Also, it is said that in Kimotsuki, there are shrines where Ittan-momen are said to frequently appear, and it was believed that when children pass in front of the shrine, an Ittan-momen flying above in the skies would attack the last child in line. Number 5. Kasa-Obake. These are generally umbrellas with 1 eye and jump around with 1 leg, but sometimes they have 2 arms or 2 eyes among other features, and they also sometimes are depicted to have a long tongue. Sometimes, but rarely, they have 2 feet, as depicted in the yokai imaki such as the Hyaki Yagyo Zumaki. In the Hyaki Yagyo Imaki from the Muromachi period, yokai that appeared as umbrellas could be seen, but in this imaki it was a humanoid yokai that merely had an umbrella on its head and thus had a different appearance than that resembling of Kasa-Obake. The Kasa-Obake that took on an appearance with 1 eye high and 1 foot, was seen from the Edo period and onward, and in the Obake Kurata, made from the Edo period to the Taisho period, Kasa-Obake with 1 foot could often be seen. Number 4. Koto-furunushi. The Koto-furunushi has the appearance of a traditional koto, a Japanese zither, which grows a demonic face on its front. The strings start to meander into all directions, giving the impression of an uncombed mane. A famous legend comes from Saga Prefecture on Kyushu Peninsula, and is said to originate from the 2nd century AD. It tells the story of the Emperor of Japan, who had planned a palatial feast for his royal court. He chose Kanzaki as the festive place, and he ordered his gardeners to clean and groom the chosen park. The legend reports that the emperor was so excited about the resulting beauty of the festive palace that he left an enchanting koto as a present to the town of Kanzaki. A short time later, the koto magically transformed itself into a lush and noble camphor tree. From this day, it was told for centuries that anybody who took a rest at the roots of the tree could hear the faint but irresistibly calming sounds of a zither from the treetop. Today, it is said that the exact whereabouts of the holy tree was forgotten in time, but the ghost of the camphor tree may dive into very old kotos and animate them. Number 3. Kutsutsura. Kutsutsura are tsukumogami of shoes. They can take either a human form or an animal form. In human form, they look like a court noble wearing a shoe as a hat. In animal form, they appear as a round, hairy beast with a fur boot for a snout. Kutsutsura appear in Toriyami Sekin's book, Hyakizurezure Bukuro. They are a pun based on an ancient Chinese saying, "Do not adjust your shoes in a melon patch, and do not adjust your hat under a plum tree." The phrase is a warning to avoid compromising situations. Someone who takes off their shoes in a melon patch or fiddles with their hat under a plum tree might give the impression that they are stealing fruit in their shoes or under their hat. In other words, it is wise to avoid doing anything that might give others reason to doubt you. Number 2. Ungaikyo. Ungaikyo is a haunted mirror which shows demons and monsters reflected in its surface. The spirit which haunts this mirror, as well as the countless spirits which have been reflected in it over the years, can manipulate the reflection and cause it to appear as anything they like. People who gaze into an Ungaikyo might see a transformed, monstrous version of themselves looking back. An Ungaikyo can be used by humans to trap spirits. On the 15th night of the 8th month in the old lunar calendar, water is poured into a crystal dish to reflect the light of the full moon. In the old days, this was a popular way of admiring the reflection of the night sky. If that water is used to paint the image of a yokai onto a mirror, that spirit will then inhabit the mirror. Number 1. Kyorinrin. Kyorinrin is a spirit of knowledge formed from ancient scrolls, books, and scriptures which have been left unstudied by their owners and gathering dust. Kyorinrin are often extravagant. They decorate themselves with the most ornate volumes and scrolls, wearing them like a kimono. A scroll with tassels becomes the headpiece, and they develop bird-like beaks and long extendable arms. Compelled by the wisdom of the ages, the volumes that make up Kyorinrin rise up as a dragon-like spirit. The Kyorinrin use their elongated arms to assault the ignorant owners who let their priceless treasures and knowledge fall into disuse. Thanks for watching. Those were 10 ancient cursed items discovered in Japan. Leave the video a like and comment if we missed anything, and we hope you have a scary day.